Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talk of the Town podcast. If you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we're now on the road to 300 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. If you love sports news, sports betting, special segments, daily uploads, updated rankings every single week, my reactions, anything at all, it's all right here on the Talk of the Town podcast. So I promise you, your subscription will be well worth it and much, much appreciated. And here on today's video, we're going to be reacting to some of the best games from yesterday's slate here in week 5. And I'll tell you this, it's a really, really good Monday when I got the New England Patriots jersey on. If you're new here, that means the Patriots got to win. Whether or not it's on Sunday like it was yesterday or Thursday, I will always put on the Patriots jersey the following day. So, it's a good day when I got the Patriots jersey on. That'll actually be the first game I talk about is the Patriots versus the Bills. What a hell of a game yesterday. But first, I'm going to give you guys a massive, massive thank you for helping me hit over 200 subscribers here over the weekend. You want to know something crazy? Friday was the one and only video I said that we're on the road to now 200 subscribers here on the YouTube channel. And yeah, we're now over 200 subscribers. It took me less than like 2 days to hit 200 subscribers. I was at 96 subscribers on Thursday. And now I'm at like 228 at the time of recording this. So you guys, I literally can't put it into words to how much I appreciate your guys' support. Like, thank you is not enough. Whether or not you click on my video and watch for 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, the whole thing, whether or not you even just click the like button and click off. Just you taking any time out of your day to come and watch the videos and just show any amount of support just means the absolute world to me and so much more. So again, a massive thank you to you guys. And we're now on the road to 300 subscribers. So here we go. Let's start off with the Patriots versus the Bills on Sunday Night Football last night. Man, what a hell of a game. Have put me in the hospital last night, to be honest with you, especially that fourth quarter more than anything. Pretty slow first half, really sloppy first half for the Buffalo Bills in general. A couple turnovers, lots of penalties, and still was only 6-3 Patriots at halftime. I thought when that happened, to be honest with you, I thought there's no chance we win this game. You create that many turnovers, and the Bills are playing extremely sloppy football, lots of penalties and everything, and you only come away with 6 points, no touchdowns or anything, and you're going against Josh Allen. I knew for a fact that you're not going to be able to hold Josh Allen to only 3 points again in the second half. Like, they're going to come out and score some touchdowns, and they did. They came out of the second half and scored a touchdown. And I was just like, yep, I know it. They get the ball coming out of the half. You know it's going to be a completely different team coming out of the second half. And I thought when Hunter Henry didn't stick his other hand up at the end of the second quarter, and I was just like, bro, like you got to catch that ball. I mean, it's right in your hands. You just didn't put your other hand up. I know the timing looked a little off, like he didn't look quite ready for that ball. But luckily, though, it did only lead to 1 second on the clock, and they did end up getting that field goal off, which was clearly massively important in the score at the end of the game. Ended up winning 23-20 there. But I also thought too, that penalty, I think it was Joshua Farmer on James Cook, when James Cook was clearly down for already like 3 or 4 seconds, he just throws his massive body on James Cook and draws his personal foul penalty, after a really good stop. And it's just like, dude, Wayne, what are you selling your soul to lose this game or something? I mean, I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. You guys have played so well all game. And it was like a roughing the passer, then that just ridiculous penalty, Mike Vrabel with his hand on his face. I was just like, you have just got to be kidding me. Like, there's no way we lose this game like that. And they didn't. They ended up pulling it out, man. Drake May, it's not a career-defining moment just because his career has only been like 17 starts so far. But a career moment for Drake May, no doubt about it. People have now legitimately, a lot of people putting him into that next category of quarterback. Like, okay, this guy's really good. National television, big spot, massive win for the team to move into 3-2 and over 500 and what feels like forever for this team. I think the last time they were over 500 was week 1 against the Bengals last year. So, when they had Gerard Mayo and that team, which is just not even remotely the same team. I mean, how crazy has this team turned around in a year or so? This team's legit. I'm not just saying it because I'm a Pats fan. And when I say legit, I don't necessarily mean a legit Super Bowl contender by any stretch. I think they need another year or two under their belt for that, at least another season or so. But I think this team could absolutely make the playoffs and give the Bills maybe a run for their money in terms of winning the AFC East. I mean, the Patriots schedule, they play the Saints next week. I mean, they got a stretch of some really bad games coming up. And if they can take advantage of it, man, that would be pretty incredible for this team. They could arguably, honestly, be 5-0 right now as well. They blatantly beat themselves against the Steelers a few weeks ago. That was horrible. They had 5 turnovers from Andre Stevenson, must have had his entire life on the game or something. But I mean, I don't know. They could not beat the Steelers at all that game. That game just drove me absolutely crazy. They had 5 turnovers. Then the Raiders, if they were to play the Raiders right now, they'd probably beat them 9 times out of 10. The Raiders are just an awful football team right now. I'm going to talk about them in a little bit as well. But, you can't get those games back, end up losing them. But what they're doing now is turning the ship around. I mean, they're 3-2 and beat the Bills. So massive win there. One thing with the Bills that I mentioned at the start of the season, which kind of came to light last night a little bit. And honestly, they did almost lose to the Saints, and almost, I don't care about almost lose, almost this. You pull off the win, you pull off the win. It counts as a win in the stat sheet. I don't really care whether or not they beat the Saints by 40 or beat them by 7 points. Like a win's a win, regardless. But their receiving crew, I like Keon Coleman, but honestly, he's kind of a one-trick pony. Like, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but again, the throws he had to Keon Coleman last night, like, what are they? They're high-point balls that are kind of just go up and get it. Like, he had a touchdown last night, but he also had another play on Carlton Davis down the field. It's like a 3rd down. Just throws it up to him. Keon Coleman goes up and gets it. He had one that was out of bounds. Josh Allen kind of just under some extreme duress, just throws it way down the field. Was end up being complete out of the back of the end zone anyway. He did end up catching it, but just, throws it up for him, and he just goes up and grabs it. Like, he's a massive human being. So, but that's his kind of play style. Khalil Shakir on those teams is like a number 2 receiver, number 3, most likely a number 2 receiver. He is talented, but is he going to be a guy like you can consistently rely on in big spots? No, like, he's not that kind of receiver. They kind of don't really have that on the Bills. Like, if the Bills are down in big moments, you just kind of have to hope Josh Allen can play the Superman role and get these guys some ridiculous throw down the field. Just, again, play the Superman role, or else can any of these guys really make a play for Josh Allen? I don't really know if I can trust those guys in big spots to do so, and that's where I kind of feel like the Bills struggle out a little bit. Their defense has struggled a little bit this year as well. I actually thought their defense played pretty good last night as well. Drake May again, he had that play where he didn't get grabbed down by his collar, made a throw to really good throw to Stephon Diggs, which was actually on that drive. They went to go score the game-winning field goal. Like, that was really good defense. Like, eventually, sometimes, players just make a play that no matter how good a defense you play, like, the offense is just better than the defense at that point. So, I thought the Bills defense actually didn't play that bad. Held the Patriots to 6 points during the first half and everything. So, I just think in big spots, the Bills might struggle if Josh Allen is, again, under some extreme pressure like he was last night. For one, Mike Vrabel is pretty underrated when it comes to this sense, and I haven't heard anyone really talk about it, is like Lamar Jackson back in 2019 when the Titans went in and upset Baltimore. And a few years, I think it was 2021 or 2022, they played against them in the regular season as well. And they went upset Baltimore in their house again. So Derrick Henry broke off some big run in overtime and ended up winning the game. But he has some sort of scheme against like Lamar, this Josh Allen kind of quarterbacks, to where it really makes them second guess what they do. Like, Josh Allen looked like he was kind of second guessing all game. He didn't really make any big plays with his legs. Of course, he broke off some plays, but he wasn't nearly as lethal with his legs as he has been in other games so far throughout this year and even in years prior. He had a really good game plan against Josh Allen. Not necessarily so much against Dalton Kincaid, which was driving me absolutely crazy. He had over like 100 yards receiving. But in terms of breaking off Josh Allen from breaking off big runs, to kind of make him second guess himself. Mike Vrabel was very good at that last night. And I thought he's kind of the same going against Lamar Jackson as well. So whatever game plan he has against those quarterbacks, he's really good at. So I have to give massive props to him, because when he plays against those two, man, he seems to do really, really well against those teams. And against those quarterbacks too. So, and what a hell of a game last night. A massive win for the Patriots. career moment for Drake May, that's for sure. Some serious positive momentum for the Patriots heading in here to New Orleans next week, which they should win that game. But New Orleans is playing some really competitive football as well. So that's definitely not a gimme game, especially coming off a win for New Orleans as well. The Bills will be perfectly fine. As I mentioned, the only concern I have with Buffalo really is, the receiving crew in big spots is like, can they pull through in big moments? We'll have to see later on in the season. Whether we're going to have to find out. I mean, besides James Cook, it's pretty sweet to have as a Pro Bowl running back, which I thought they should have ran more of him yesterday. He started breaking off some big plays, and then they kind of just pulled the Baltimore Ravens, to be honest with you, who I'm going to talk about here in a few. But, yeah, man. I mean, even the Patriots, like, sometimes I'm sitting there looking at their offense, I'm like, why are you still running Ramondre Stevenson? Antonio Gibson getting hurt kind of blows, to be honest with you. But, man, when Christian Gonzalez is in that lineup and Stephon Diggs, I mean, what a game from him last night. He had like 140-some yards receiving. He's been getting better every single week. But I know he kind of had a motive against the Bills. He was fired up to play them, but he had over 100 yards receiving last week against Carolina as well. When you look at his receiving numbers, they get better every single week coming back from that ACL injury. So what an element to that offense they add. Josh McDaniels, who just seems to not be able to do anything besides when he's in New England, calling it a really good game plan, especially seems to be fitting Drake May well as well. So some good vibes going on in the pass building, man. And like I mentioned, when Christian Gonzalez plays, it is a completely different defense that the Patriots defense is, man. He is just an absolute outstanding cornerback. Him and Carlton Davis are one of the best cornerback duos in the NFL. No doubt about it. I was a little bit disappointed in the Patriots pass rush yesterday. I thought they'd be a little bit better. They played well at the end of the game, but Milton Williams and Harold Landry didn't really hear much of their names last night. I think Milton Williams hit him a sack, though, so it is very hard to sack Josh Allen, so I'm not necessarily going to give the pass rush any hurt there. I definitely give them a pass. I'll give any pass rush a pass against Josh Allen. Same goes for like Mahomes and Lamar Jackson as well. It's extremely hard to have a good pass rush against those guys. So I love the game last night, man. Massive win for the Pats. Bills will be fine, of course. So yeah, what a great game last night. Next game I want to talk about here, not quite as good, especially in the scoreboard, but a game I feel like is worth talking about, especially for one team in general, is the Texans and the Ravens. We'll just go over the Texans real quick, pretty briefly. Definitely feels like a massive confidence boost for this team here, especially scoring 44 points. Their offense has struggled immensely here throughout the first couple of weeks of the season. 4 or 5 weeks or so of the season, their offense has struggled. They played pretty well in the Titans game last week as well. So definitely a positive sign here for the Houston Texans. Of course, their defense played great as they always do. Their defense has not been a problem for this team for a while now. They're just a ferocious defense, man. I mean, their pass rush is really good. Their secondary is really good. Houston's defense isn't the problem. It's been their offense, but they put up 44 points yesterday and were just moving at will. So good game there for the Texans, man. 2-3. They're not that far out of winning their division again. I mean, the Jags today, I'm going to talk about the Chiefs and Jags here in a little while. That game is going to be pretty important for the AFC South, but they don't quite feel at the same level as the Colts right now. So they got some work to do. A lot of season left, but the Texans are definitely doing the right thing right now, stringing out some football games, winning some games, and gaining some positive momentum in their offense. Definitely looking leaps and bounds better than what they had the last few weeks. But for the Ravens, it's not hard to make an offense look good when your defense is giving up over like 34 points a game right now. John Harbaugh, again, another alarming sign for him. Yesterday, immediately after the game in a press conference, was saying that Zach Orr is not the issue. This is not his fault. This defense is not... Bro, the defense is so bad. And you know it's bad, and you know the scheming is bad on the defensive side of the ball when you're constantly rushing 4 against one of the worst offensive lines in the entirety of the NFL, and you're getting no pressure on C.J. Stroud because you're not rushing him. You know why teams have been beating the Houston Texans and C.J. Stroud? Because they've been blitzing the ever-living hell out of C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. But you know what? You know when the Ravens did that yesterday? They ended up getting some serious pressure on Stroud and ended up getting some stops. But they did it like 3 times and didn't do it again. Yeah, Ravens got some serious issues. But I will say this, though, and I was talking with a friend last night about this. is that the Ravens are going to lose next week to the Rams, because the Rams are in a very similar situation here. That last week they went in pretty I don't know, I guess I'd say cocky is one of the words, against the 49ers, kind of thinking, hey, you know what, hell, we'll just go and we'll beat this team real quick. They have Mac Jones and none of their starting receivers are playing. No Kittle, no Pearsall, no Ayuk, who's been out forever now. No Purdy, just everywhere you look, there's injuries for no Nick Bosa, anything. There is no team that has more of an injury excuse than the San Francisco 49ers. And the Ravens have $160 million yesterday sitting on the bench with injuries. So trust me, it's bad. Like, the injury bug is bad in Baltimore as well. But if there's a team who has an excuse for the injury bug as well, and it's absolutely the San Francisco 49ers. You know what they did? They went in and pulled off a pretty incredible win against the Rams on Thursday night. But the Ravens, again, the scheming, the coaching is just so bad. I think the Ravens, this is my personal opinion, maybe a little bit of a hot take, but I think the fans would agree as well. Again, I live 20 minutes away from the stadium, so and my parents are season ticket holders as well. I have a lot of friends who are also season ticket holders as well. Those tickets yesterday couldn't sell for $15. I'm not exaggerating. They literally couldn't sell. We had to end up giving our tickets away. And even then, it was a struggle giving the tickets away for free, giving it to someone. A lot of people couldn't even end up giving their tickets away. And if you watch the game, the stadium was completely empty by the second quarter. So it is just brutal here for the Baltimore Ravens. It is brutal. The atmosphere, the life has been completely sucked out of the building for the Baltimore Ravens. It genuinely has. It is a brutal watch. Like, it is painful to watch this team. And I'm not even trying to make it seem like I'm not trying to bash them or anything, but it really is. It is bad. I mean, I have friends and everything who aren't even clicking on the Ravens games. That's how ugly it's getting. As I was about to mention, go all in to suck. Like, they're going to lose to the Rams. There's no way that Sean McVay, the loss they had against the injury-plagued 49ers, now going into the injury-plagued Ravens, they're not going to catch the Rams blindsided at all. They're just not going to do it. If you can't stop C.J. Stroud and Xavier Hutchinson, who had the first 2 touchdowns of his career yesterday, and they're all in there doing the Ray Lewis dance in the stadium, you got rookies in there doing it and stuff, there's no way you're going to be able to stop Adams and Nakua and Matt Stafford. There's just no way. With a Sean McVay coached offense, it's not going to happen at all. So I'd put all the chips on the table. The Ravens are going to be 1-5 this time next week. But, if you're going to suck, sit Lamar the rest of the year, trade Roquan Smith. I'll even consider trading Derrick Henry, Rashad Bateman. Go all in. Go all in and just suck. Get a top 5, top 6 pick in the draft. And, they need it. They need to draft a pass rusher. They need to draft an offensive tackle, like somewhere in that range. Like, draft a serious, young player, very talented player, because the Ravens roster is getting old. Mark Andrews, they should have gotten rid of 3 years ago. Ronnie Stanley's getting old, commits a lot of penalties, to be honest with you. His play necessarily hasn't deteriorated, but he actually really hasn't played well this season at all, to be completely honest with you. Roquan Smith is getting old. They've kind of wasted the best years of his career. So the team is aging in general. Not a BK may never play again. So you just need to go on a fire sale, trade Roquan. They don't use Derrick Henry anyway, so you could trade him, maybe try and get some sort of value for him. I know they signed into an extension. I don't think that's going to happen, but just go on a fire sale and just tank it. Go win 4 games this year and just say, screw it. And we're going to get rid of Harbaugh. We're going to get rid of Monken. We're going to get rid of War. We're going to bring in new faces this next season. Just have Lamar Jackson. I mean, the Ravens will be perfectly fine next season, as long as they fire John Harbaugh, which all signs are heading that way. They just need fresh faces in the building. Kind of get rid of some dead wood that is just taking up a lot of money on the salary cap and it's not performing well anymore. Mark Andrews, Roquan Smith, like guys like that, just offload them. Replace them in the draft some high draft picks. It's a pretty good draft in terms of defensive players coming out this year. You got Caleb Downs. Like, you got some really good players. I'd be curious to see. I don't think the Ravens are going to be bad enough, especially if they do go full-fledged on what I'm saying right now, and they do end up drafting number 1 overall. Like, if Lamar sits the rest of the year and they just say, you know what, we're going to roll this thing out. Like, what if Jeremiah Smith comes out of the draft Do I think they should draft a receiver? Probably not. Like, I think the Ravens have some really other big needs. But, like, could you imagine, like, his comp is Calvin Johnson and Julio Jones. And honestly, it doesn't really feel like there's more of a slam dunk pick at the receiver position than Jeremiah Smith right now. Like, if he's there and the Ravens are, like, this is a serious hypothetical. Like, I'm not just saying this for fun because, like, there's, like, some realm of possibility this could happen this season, especially with how they're playing. But, like, if Jeremiah Smith is there for the Ravens next year, like, do they take him and pair Lamar Jackson up with Jeremiah Smith? I don't know how the hell you'd stop that at all. Like, and if they do end up keeping Derrick Henry, you have him, Derrick Henry, and Lamar Jackson. Like, that's pretty crazy. But I do think they have some other serious needs that, like, they should address before that. Like, they could get a serious haul for the number 1 overall pick, I'm sure. I don't think the Ravens are going to be picking number 1 overall at all. And there are still some fans and some analysts that are seriously optimistic about this team making a run and get back in the playoffs. If they're 1-5, to even go 10-7, they'd have to go 9-2. With Zach Orr and everything, they may end up, who knows, going into the bye week after next week if they may end up firing Harbaugh or, whatever it is. It's going to be too late for a change, so you might as well just go all in and tank. It would suck this season, but trust me, it would be better this time next year. You'd be seriously appreciative this team tanked to get a pass rusher and offensive lineman. So, yeah, man, the Ravens defense, atrocious. Not only the worst defense in the league, probably the worst defense I've ever seen through 5 weeks so far. I'm not exaggerating at all. They literally can't make a stop. That's the thing is, like, no matter even if Lamar Jackson was even playing right now, like, the Ravens would not be able to win because they can't stop anybody. They literally have to play perfect. It reminds me of playing, like, anyone who out there plays NBA 2K26. I know it's a kind of a weird analogy, but like, to where if you miss one shot on offense, if you play that game, you're literally going to lose the game because no one misses. That's how the Ravens defense is. Like, if you do not score one time, you are going to lose the game because they can't make a stop. So, this was more about the Ravens just completely falling off a cliff. And then I think, in my opinion, that they should just go in and all in and tank this season, to be honest with you. Like, go all in, win maybe 1 or 2 more games this year, finish 4-13, and next year you'll have Lamar and everyone back in a new coaching crew, and you'll be back to your old selves. This isn't a full-on rebuild, but this is the year I feel like they need to really reset and just kind of take a deep breath and go back. And you're making the Houston Texans score 44 points and look like the 07 Pats, who got some serious issues. So, nothing against the Texans, but this is a team who seriously struggled. So that's what I think about this game, man. Just go all in and tank, especially against the Rams next week. Just go all in. Next game I want to talk about, I'll talk about this game very briefly, is the Titans and Cardinals, mainly because one of the more crazier choke jobs we've seen. What's it, 21-6 with like 10 minutes left? People are calling Cam Ward cardiac Cam. Yeah, he had a really good, kind of like, and not necessarily on the scale of Drake May to this point, but a pretty career moment for Cam Ward so far. He's had some serious struggles to start off so far, which is not his fault. I mean, his team is absolute. Just, he's mentioned it last week. He said, we asked, that team is terrible. To go out there against the Cardinals and come back like that, there were some crazy plays. Oh, and DeMercado, like, in the fumble a couple of inches before the goal line. Adonai Mitchell had the same thing last week, which ended up causing the Colts from being 5-0. I can't imagine the record with teams dropping the ball a couple inches before the goal line, but I can't imagine it's very good. It's going to be like maybe like 2-8 or 1-9 or something. You can always look up and find out that they lost the game by 1 score, and it's because they ended up dropping the ball before the goal line. They also had a crazy interception thing, I think, or interception play. The Cardinals intercepted the ball, but then fumbled it, went back in the end zone, and it ended up picking the ball up in the end zone. I was just like, I don't know, man. The Cardinals have had some pretty weird games this year. I mean, they're 2-3 now. They definitely flew out of the mix. I think that team is going to fully rebuild next year. I think Kyler Murray's not going to be a Cardinal next year. Problem is with that, though, is like who do you find is better than Kyler Murray? And I don't even know where he'd go. Like, maybe he'd be a Las Vegas Raider. Again, I'm going to talk about that here in a couple minutes as well with the Raiders. But the Cardinals against the Panthers a couple of weeks ago as well, they almost had one of the bigger choke jobs I've ever seen against a team. Like I don't know if anyone watched that game. Like, the Cardinals had a really bad choke job yesterday against the Titans, but they almost had 2 of them with the Carolina Panthers last week as well. Or not last week, a few weeks ago as well. They recovered an onside kick, and the Panthers almost drove to win the game. This team was on the brink of being 1-4, some pretty crazy collapses, to be completely honest with you. So, the Cardinals are a mess right now. And the Titans, man, what a hell of a win. Way to pull that out yesterday. Cam Ward needed that, and the team needed that as well. Brian Callahan his seat is still flaming hot. I'm almost positive he'll be fired by the end of the season anyway, to be completely honest with you. But they needed that win. And the Cardinals are in some serious trouble. I mean, no one really thought the Cardinals would be a playoff team anyway, but they got some serious issues going on, especially with being able to keep leads. To kind of feel like the Atlanta Falcons a little bit there for a little bit. Sorry, Falcons fans, but they can't seem to keep a lead and sustain a lead at all, to be completely honest with you. So Cardinals are in some trouble. 2-3 now. What a crazy game yesterday. Big game for Cam Ward, a big confidence boost for Cam Ward, and way to pull out a win. I don't think the Titans may pull out another win or two throughout the season, but at least they won't necessarily finish 0-17 because, man, they were not even looking competitive at all. Kind of looked like they may have been heading down that road a little bit, but this game is going to be massive for Cam Ward's confidence, and big moment there. Next game I want to talk about here briefly as well is the Broncos versus the Eagles. Something looks very off with the Eagles as well. Definitely seen some talk as well around the sports world. And I've agreed as well, like Bo Nix has regressed. Even though he won the game, like he has really regressed a good bit. Like he does not look very good at all. And I mentioned this about Bo Nix. I didn't think Bo Nix would regress at all. Even though they did end up pulling out the win, which at the end of the day is what matters. Ended up playing well enough to get the win, but the Broncos in general, they struggled a lot that game. They struggled a lot. They ended up coming back towards the end of the game, ended up winning the game, of course, but Eagles struggled as well. The Eagles there's something weird going on in that building. They have not played very well throughout the last few weeks. Even though they've won, they were 4-0. This team could be on the brink of being like 1-3, 1-4-ish, just about, to be honest with you. Like they've had some very close games that this team has blown some leads. They have halves where they are completely non-existent. And this is kind of a weird comparison, though. But the Philadelphia Eagles remind me a little bit of Russell Wilson in the Steelers offense last year. Like the Steelers offense felt very run-heavy last year, right? And the only sort of passing offense they had, even though the Eagles offense is leaps and bounds way more talented than the Steelers offense was last year, and now even this year, we all know that. But it felt like Jalen Hurts takes a lot of moonshots down the sideline, which is what Russell Wilson was doing. That big rainbow pass down the sideline. But besides that, and getting big runs with Saquon Barkley or big runs with Jalen Warren and Najee Harris last year, like there's no other element to their offense. And I know they have a new and young offensive coordinator that I don't know if it's the play calling, like something's up there, but it's either Jalen Hurts throws a big deep ball to Smitty, or Saquon Barkley breaks off a big run. That's about it. Or the tush push, or using Jalen Hurts' legs. I mentioned last week on the podcast as well that it's either like this Eagles offense feels like there's too many mouths to feed almost. Like it almost feels like they have too much talent. Between A.J. Brown, who they're adamant they're not trading A.J. Brown. I had a little bit of a segment last week where I talked about, well, they may end up trading A.J. Brown. The Eagles are adamant they are not trading A.J. Brown. So I don't think that's going to happen at all. But in terms of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley, wanting to run with Jalen Hurts, use the tush push, use his legs, like there is a lot going there. And Dallas Goedert, too, who is a pretty good tight end as well. They like giving the ball to a decent bit. Had that pretty controversial play at the end of the game last game, whether or not it should have been a pass interference on Dallas Goedert. You guys let me know. I don't really know. It's a really hard call to make at that point of the game. Like the ball was underthrown. Would he have called that anyway? Probably not. But his back was turned, kind of died on Dallas Goedert. I don't know. I don't know if I would have made that call at the end of the game, to be honest with you, on a play like that. You guys let me know what you think of that penalty. Would you guys have thrown that flag or not? I'd be curious. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that. But like it almost feels like there's just too much going on in that offense. And the offensive coordinator, who's new, does not seem like he really knows how to handle what the hell's going on. So I think the Eagles definitely have some issues on offense. Do I think they'll fix them? I think they probably will. Like, there's a lot going on there to suck. Like, that team is freaking loaded, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like they know how to handle how much talent they have. Like should we? How do we balance this out? Like, do we just give Saquon Barkley the ball all the time? Or are we trying to force feed it to A.J. Brown? Should we try getting Devontae Smith on a bunch of deep balls? Like, I don't really think the Eagles know what they're doing right now, to be honest with you. And it clearly shows in their play. Like, they just have halves where they don't do anything. Like the Buccaneers yesterday, it's just like, yeah, honestly, the Broncos, they ended up winning the game, but they did not play good football yesterday. Like their defense played well, but their offense was not very good at all yesterday. Multiple people are very down on Bo Nix. Again, we're only through what, 5 weeks of the season. I'm not going to sit here and say Bo Nix is done or anything, but he's definitely regressed, and Broncos fans have acknowledged that as well. That Bo Nix has progressed throughout the start of the season so far. Has some very sloppy interceptions. Just kind of missing guys open, missing and I know it drives Sean Payton absolutely crazy. If there's one person that drives crazy, it would absolutely be Sean Payton, and it is. So in order for them to win more games, especially consistently, Bo Nix has to be better. Like, there is no doubt about it. Ended up pulling off a pretty gritty win yesterday, which, again, he played just well enough to win the game, which is what matters at the end of the day. But they're going to have to be better on offense. Bo Nix is going to have to be consistently better, to be completely honest with you. But again, a solid win. Eagles look very off right now. Hopefully they can pull it back together. They looked, again, remind you though, and this is why I'm not completely out on the Eagles. People are saying, well, the Eagles are far from a Super Bowl contender, which is not true. One, they're 4-1. And remember at the start of last year too, they were like 2-2. They were struggling against Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns last year. People were talking about Nick Sirianni being fired last year, like at the beginning of the season, but they ended up pulling through and pulling themselves together. Kellen Moore, though, I feel a lot more comfortable if Kellen Moore was still their offensive coordinator. Like, this guy's completely new to what he's doing, which is kind of worrisome a little bit. But you just have to hope they can pull it together. Again, this is a team that is a Super Bowl winning roster, some Super Bowl championship aspects, Super Bowl winning players who just won a Super Bowl. Howie Roseman knows how to pull it together. So, we just kind of have to hope they can pull it together a little bit here. And like I mentioned, I feel more comfortable if they had more of an experienced offensive coordinator back there, being like, they'll turn it around. They're just trying to figure out what's going on still. But even nonetheless, with how bad like their offenses kind of looked through long stretches of long periods during the game, they're still pulling out wins. They're still 4-1. This team isn't 2-3 right now. So I think the Eagles will be fine. But I would definitely like to see their offense bounce back sooner than later for this Eagles team. So yeah, man. Broncos though, 3-2. Still a lot of talk about them worrying about their playoff spot, their playoff momentum, especially I've looked at a lot of the news articles today and even just yesterday afternoon. Like, a lot of people still think the Broncos are not a legit team and they're struggling a lot. I'm not necessarily saying this for my part. I'm going off of what I've read. I do agree a little bit. Like, the Broncos do have some areas to fix. Like every team necessarily does. But the Broncos, I've mentioned before, I mentioned a couple of times now, Bo Nix has to play better in order for this team to be able to succeed and get into the playoffs and even just win their division in general. I think that division's wide open with the Chiefs and the Raiders and the Chargers falling apart right now. So yeah, man, pretty interesting game there last night. That was a good game. Or not last night, but yesterday afternoon. Next game I want to talk about here is Colts and Raiders. Let me pull up the score here. I know it was an absolute blowout. Yeah, 40-6. I just wanted to make sure I had it right. But Colts now 4-1 on the brink of being 5-0. Adonai Mitchell doesn't drop the ball 6 inches before the end zone. They end up winning that game against the Rams a few weeks ago. But the Colts are for real. Daniel Jones, my opinion and everyone else's opinion of Daniel Jones coming into this season was completely wrong. Like, I thought Daniel Jones was just honestly kind of a scrub. Like, I thought, he had that 1 year where they barely made the playoffs. And again, kind of saying it with Brian Daboll, that year saved his career in terms of being a Giants head coach. For now, it's looking like he's going to get fired. But Daniel Jones is an elite quarterback right now. If you would have told me through week 5, 6 weeks ago, that Daniel Jones would be an elite quarterback and the Colts would be 4-1, I tell you, you're out of your mind. I would say there was not one person who was more critical of the Colts than I was coming into the season. I felt the Colts would be a dumpster fire, to be completely honest with you. And I do. I fully admit it. A lot of the media was shitting on the Colts like no tomorrow, including myself. And I think there was legitimate reason to do so. You had the whole Anthony Richardson situation. You spent your 4th overall pick on this guy. Now he's losing to Daniel Jones, who no one thought would be playing at this level like he's playing right now. But you start looking more in depth, which I knew the Colts had a good roster, but I thought there was some major hurdles that were pretty hard to overcome. You have a quarterback battle to where your 4th overall pick is just sucks. And Daniel Jones, who we thought we kind of had figured out at this point, was like, this guy's mediocre at best, to be completely honest with you, which throughout his entire career to this point has only been mediocre. So, you can't really I can't really blame myself for saying that. But at the same time, like, I can fully admit I was completely wrong on this Colts team, as was most of the media to this point. I mean, this team is playing for real. Daniel Jones is playing elite. The offensive line, who has big names on it. Quentin Nelson, like they have a very good offensive line. Jonathan Taylor playing like a top 3 back in the league, which we all knew he was. Michael Pittman's playing good football. Like Tyler Warren, what a hell of a pick there. Aren't the Bears regretting drafting Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren right now, man? The Colts are just ecstatic. They are thanking Christ to the Bears right now. I can tell you that. Because the Bears just literally gave Tyler Warren in their lap. So, yeah, man, Colts are a legit football team. There's no doubt about it in my mind. The Colts, whether or not they could win a Super Bowl, I don't know if they quite had that experience in January. Like, January is a different game than it is the beginning of October. It just is. I'm not taking anything away from the Colts, but do I think the Colts could right now, I think they could win a playoff game or two. Like, I think this team could legitimately make the AFC Championship. Like, I don't know if it's crazy for me to say, but the Colts could be the best team in the AFC right now. Like legitimately, the Colts could be the best team in the AFC, especially after Buffalo's loss yesterday. The way they're playing right now, like they're on the brink of being 5-0, and so are the Bills. Like, I still think the Bills are probably the best team in the AFC just due to just having Josh Allen alone and just the experience they have in the playoffs and everything right now. The Chiefs, still some question marks there. I'd like to see how they play against the Jags tonight, but they're at least probably the second best team in the AFC right now. Like, they feel just like a legit team. Like, if I had to take them to go to the AFC Championship right now, I probably would do it, to be honest with you. Daniel Jones is playing some elite football, and he does have playoff experience. He had won a playoff game against the Vikings a few years ago, so that experience is definitely there for him. Colts fans are ecstatic, man. I'm shocked. I really am. I mean, 40-6, they just absolutely put the belt to the ass to the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday, man. I mean, speaking of the Raiders, the Geno Smith is done. The comeback story, that's over. Pete Carroll, we know, loves to play. Just don't turn the ball over. Some gritty football. But no, Geno Smith has like 9 picks in 5 games or something. That comeback story of him, it's over. The Raiders are going to be searching for a quarterback next year, which is why I mentioned Mac Jones might be a free agent. But I don't know if the 49ers are going to be wanting to keep Mac Jones, but he's definitely going to have a market. The Raiders are going to be all in on that because, mind you, this quarterback draft is not very good at all. It was supposed to be good. It's supposed to be Cade Klubnik was supposed to be probably the number 1 overall pick with Arch Manning and Garrett Nussmeier. I mean, 3 quarterbacks are supposed to go in the top 10. You have Lenora Stellars, but these guys have turned out to just be kind of ass, to be honest with you. Especially Arch Manning is a disaster. Already talked about him transferring from Texas already. God, how bad is that going? I was very high on Arch Manning, to be completely honest with you, but I don't even know what the hell's going on there with Texas. I mean, they're unranked. That man, Penn State, Drew Aller is another one. Like, Drew Aller was maybe going to be the number 1 overall pick last year, and God, would he even be a 6th-round pick today? I mean, I don't even know, to be honest with you. Penn State and Texas, the number 1 and 2 ranked teams, finishing freaking, they're not even ranked. I think it's like the first time ever that's happened or something throughout like week 5 or something in college football, or week 7 in college football. Absolutely crazy. I don't know, man. This quarterback draft isn't very good. So Las Vegas, for one, is definitely gonna have to look for a quarterback next year. Geno Smith is done. I don't care if Geno comes back and plays well again. Pete Carroll's going to want another quarterback. But whether or not it's Mac Jones, they maybe go make a trade for Kyler Murray. For one, this Raiders team, I said this at the beginning of the season, they have players. Like, they're going to string out and win some games. Like, I still think they'll bounce back. They'll probably go and win. They'll probably win like maybe 4 or 5 more games this year, finish with about 6 wins, which is about where I had them. I figured they'd be about like a 6-11 team. Like, Pete Carroll, his last few years in Seattle were not very good. He's the oldest coach in the NFL right now. I think in NFL history right now, Pete Carroll's the oldest coach. Like, this team has holes. Like, this team does not have a good secondary. Outside of Max Crosby, they don't really have any good pass rushers. Colton Miller's like they're really only good offensive linemen. They have good receivers. Like, there's talent there. Brock Bowers has a ridiculously high ceiling, like a Hall of Fame tight end level ceiling. He's been hurt. He's had some knee issues to start off this season, so he's had a little bit of a slow start. Gino's play hasn't helped either. Ashton Genty, there's definitely some massive potential there. They don't really use him enough, to be completely honest with you. There's been some talk with that. Jacoby Myers is a really good receiver as well. Is he number 1 receiver? To be debated. Like, I think he is. He didn't even have a single drop last year. Had over 1,000 yards. So there's definitely some talent there. But there's some holes. Like, this team needs more offensive linemen. This team needs a better quarterback, which is a massive hole that any team that if they don't have a good quarterback, you need to fill that immediately. Their secondary needs to be fixed big time, and they probably need another pass rusher besides Max Crosby, who is now being talked about in the trade market. Do I think the Raiders trade him? No, but I mean, they just signed him some like massive deal, didn't they? But I don't think the Raiders trade Max Crosby, but this team is holes. Like, there's some pretty glaring issues with the Raiders that we kind of overlooked a little bit. Like, we thought, hey, dude, this offense is going to look really good. This team could maybe be competing for a playoff spot. This team isn't even. They need a quarterback above anything else. I thought Mac Jones was actually going to go to the Raiders when he left New England last year. He ended up getting traded to Jacksonville, which was like one of the last spots I thought he'd get traded to, is to be a backup. I thought he'd maybe get another chance, but I think now we might see Mac Jones in a Raiders jersey next year, because this quarterback draft does not look good coming into 2026 for the NFL. So the Raiders, I think, definitely need to look for a quarterback, and they're a few years away from being a real competitive playoff team, because, as I mentioned, man, on the offensive line yesterday, Geno Smith, even though he's thrown a lot of picks, just doesn't get 2 seconds to throw the ball at all, and he's under some extreme duress. There's just they got issues. They got issues for the Raiders. There's no doubt about it. But to be expected. I mean, did anyone really expect this team to be a serious contender? No, absolutely not. I didn't think this team would make the playoffs at all. I thought their ceiling would be a 7-win team, which I think it still is. Like, I think they could maybe still roll out a couple of wins. I think they will. I think they'll still, string out a couple wins. But if I had to guess, I think this team's going to finish with like 6 wins. I think they'll go like 6-11, even barring the 1-4, 1-5 start, or 1-4 start right now. So Raiders got massive issues. It'll be fixed through a couple of drafts, couple of off seasons, but they got massive holes for sure. I mean, they just weren't even competitive in that game yesterday. So crazy. But the next game I want to talk about here, Bucs and Seahawks. Talk about this game briefly. I got to watch the highlights. I didn't get to watch the full game quite like I did most of the games, and this was one of the best games of the day. I did see the Baker Mayfield to Emeka Egbuka first touchdown drive yesterday. What a hell of a throw for Baker Mayfield. Just really threaded the needle in the back of the end zone. He ended up getting the octopus. Then also ended up getting the 2-point conversion. Egbuka did as well. Man, this team, again, another heroic last-second performance from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, just like they always do. I think the final score of that game was, 38-35? Yeah. I mean, just Baker Mayfield is right now, as of this moment, the most clutch quarterback in the NFL. And this season, not talking, out of the careers of Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, because obviously they're more clutch in bigger moments. But as of this season right now, Baker Mayfield is the most clutch quarterback in the NFL. What a duel between guys that have just, again, Geno Smith speaking of Geno Smith, started the, the kind of the quarterback comebacks as of recently with these guys. Geno to Baker to Darnold to now maybe even Mac Jones. You could throw him in that mix. He may even get a chance on the Raiders, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. And as of this point, the 49ers seems like he's having some sort of a comeback. But these are two guys whose story are just incredible. Like, they were both on the Panthers, came out of the same draft, drafted number 1 and number 3 overall, both on the same team a few years ago, looking for a second chance, and just looked like their careers were just about over. Baker then goes to Tampa, and just completely has revived his career. Goes to show you what a good organization does to a quarterback. Like, the Seahawks and the Vikings, for example, too. Like, you got to throw the Vikings in there. Completely helped Sam Darnold, and the 49ers, too. And Kyle Shanahan sitting there, I'm sure, helped Sam Darnold a ton. Better than having, like, Adam Gase and shit coach him for what Darnold had at the beginning of his career. I mean, these guys, the coaching they've had build them up is absolutely incredible. Like, Geno Smith with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson turned into a completely different quarterback. Like, coaching in the organization matters so much when it comes to these guys. And the way they're playing is just incredible. Darnold, I mean, hell, what would the Vikings give to have Sam Darnold back, even though they won yesterday? Now they're stuck in the whole J.J. McCarthy debacle, and they could just have Sam Darnold and be rolling right now. Again, like I mentioned, even though they won yesterday, they're kicking themselves in the foot for that. So, man, what a hell of a game between those two. These are two teams that are going to be in the playoffs. Like, the Seahawks are going to be in the playoffs. Even though they lost, they'll be fine. This team is so competitive. Same thing with the Buccaneers. They are going to run away with the NFC South. There is no doubt about it, man. They are just such a really good foot. And they're doing this without Mike Evans. Mike Evans comes back again in a few weeks. I love Tampa's roster. I love Seattle's roster. Like, you see between these two teams, these are two teams we're going to be seeing in January, and maybe even potentially in the NFC Championship. Like, these two teams are so talented. Quarterbacks with an amazing story. And, man, what a game yesterday. I watched the highlights. As I mentioned, I didn't get to watch the full game, but just looking at the stats here, man, like, let me go back and look. Like, Baker Mayfield, 29 for 33, almost 400 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, and even without Bucky Irving. I mean, they did all this without Bucky Irving as well. When I seen Bucky Irving wasn't playing, I was like, damn, Mike McDonald, coach defense, without your best running back, who was also a great pass-catching back as well, and just an electric player. I thought I was be kind of worried about the Buccaneers. I still took the Bucs to win, which ended up turning out to be good, especially one of the parlays I had as well, which ended up hitting as well for some pretty good money. Took the Buccaneers to win. They were pretty big underdogs in that game, actually, especially after the Bucky Irving loss. But, Darnold, he had that interception on the drive to go and try to tie or win the game. Of course, it got tipped in the air. Ended up losing the game. But 28 for 34, 341 with 4 touchdowns and a pick. Like, Jackson, JSN, 132 yards and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp had a pretty good game as well from what I was seeing. Like, these teams are really just pretty incredible teams, to be completely honest with you, man. I can't wait to see them in January. We will be seeing these teams in January. We will be seeing Tampa and Seattle there for sure. So, hell of a game there yesterday, man. Baker really inserting himself into the MVP conversation, and Sam Darnold was in the MVP conversation last year. Maybe not quite there this year right now, but playing like a borderline top 10 quarterback in the NFL, or top 10 quarterback. You want to put him there. So, I want to say that puts him in the MVP conversation. Absolutely, go ahead. I won't complain with you, but yeah, man, these two guys, what a story. I just love seeing these two ball out, and that's what they did yesterday. Two great teams. One of the last games I want to talk about here before I get into, or the last game I will talk about before I get into Jags and Chiefs Monday Night Football, is the Lions and Bengals. I'll go over this game very briefly. Bengals need to go sign a quarterback if they want any chance of saving their season. Jake Browning he is either tossing a touchdown or he is tossing a pick. I know I'm very on them signing Jameis Winston, or like even Russell Wilson maybe, or something somewhere. Like they need to go sign something. Jimmy Garoppolo, I seen is a potential thing for him, but although Sean McVay loves Garoppolo, like he ain't going nowhere. They have to make a move of some sort, because Jake Browning throws way too many interceptions. And I know I talk about Jameis Winston, like you're talking about them signing Jameis Winston, Matt, and you're talking about interceptions. Jake Browning throws too many picks. Well, I don't know. He also doesn't have as many positive plays. Like yesterday, I think he had 3 touchdowns and 3 picks as well. Let me actually fact check myself on that real quick, if my phone would let me do so. I had all the stats written down and I lost my paper. Jared Goff played a great game. Yeah, 3 touchdowns, 3 picks. Like, I don't know. He just, and especially over the last few weeks before this game, he just was wretched. Like, he was really bad. But then this is more about the Lions, to be honest with you. Like, we know the Bengals are not going to be good throughout the rest of the season right now. If they want any chance of saving their season, they're going to go trade for a quarterback this week or next week. So I guess we'll have to see with that. But the Lions, a team that I stuck through even when they got blown out by the Packers the first week, a team I said, you know what? Dude, everyone's hyping up this Packers team. You know, the Lions, I love this team still. They still have the same amount of talent. Yes, they have different coordinators, but the talent hasn't gone anywhere. Well, when everyone was calling the Lions a seven-win team again, an 8-win team, like this team with just missed the playoffs, I was all in on the Lions. And thank God that they're sitting here proving me right now, man, because I love the Detroit Lions, man. And they're really playing like the best team in the NFC right now. To be completely honest with you, I'd probably take them over the Eagles. Like, they have just been freaking humming on all cylinders right now. Jared Goff playing like an MVP level quarterback. He is playing some great football as well. And the Lions are playing great. So definitely playing like a top dog in the NFC right now for sure. Loving the Lions, man. Played a great game against the Bengals yesterday. Kind of just really, even though the score doesn't necessarily look that bad, 37-24, Bengals were never in that game. They just never were. Jared Goff, 19 for 23, 258, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Also, they got David Montgomery. I've seen that play live of him throwing a touchdown as well, 3-yard touchdown. So they're still just as creative. And, you know, they might not be quite as creative as they were with Ben Johnson, but this team's still pulling creative plays out, man. I mean, Dan Campbell's just a hell of a coach. And this team is just the way they play, they are so well coached week in, week out. Even after a loss to Green Bay, man, they just, a blowout loss, pretty demoralizing loss for the team there in week 1. They just, week in and week out, no matter what, this team comes to just play some serious football. So I think the Lions proved themselves yesterday as one of the best teams in the NFL, and especially in the NFC. I think they're the best team in the NFC right now. Last thing I want to talk about here, Jags and Chiefs, Monday Night Football tonight. Talk about this real quick. Not too much to talk about here, but the Chiefs, big time game for them, barring that the Chargers are falling apart. The Broncos kind of, even though they're 3-2 right now, are very, very iffy right now in their division. I don't know if I would take the Broncos to win that division right now. And the Raiders are not competitive in that division at all, the AFC West. So, big time game for the Chiefs to get back in their division, take some sort of control in the AFC West, and really show themselves as like, hey, we're back. Like, we're not ass. Like, our team is actually good again. And we have Rashee Rice coming back here soon. I don't think Rashee Rice comes back this week. I think he comes back next week or the week after. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I'm pretty sure it was a 6-week suspension, so I'm almost certain he does not come back this week. No news on that, but I think he comes back next week or the week after that. But this is a big-time game for the Chiefs to really put themselves back in that elite mix in the AFC, which is wide open right now. Like, the AFC feels like it's wide open for any team to really take the reins in the AFC right now. The Ravens falling off a cliff. The Bills, very beatable as well. Colts, the shocker team there. And the Jags, they want to throw themselves in that mix tonight. Jags can very well go and win this game and make themselves like, hey, we're serious. You know, we're not a team that's just kind of like, hey, you know, we're 3-1 right now somehow, but no, like, the Jags could really make themselves a legitimate team here in the AFC. They go and win against the Chiefs tonight, keep themselves in the AFC South race to win the division with the Colts, who are playing very good football. The Jags are right on their heels. They'll both be 4-1 in a division that seemed like it was just going to be absolutely terrible. Like, the AFC South has been a joke, not even just that we thought was going to be this year, but just in general. Like, the AFC South has just been kind of bad for a long time, and they're very competitive this year. Like, Houston's kind of coming back in the mix in that division. Even though Tennessee is one of the worst teams in the NFL, they ended up pulling out a win yesterday. You potentially have 2 and 4-1 teams after tonight. So we'll find out, man. Big game for the Jags in terms of really solidifying themselves as a legitimate team in the AFC and in the NFL in general. Trevor Lawrence has to play a little better as well. Even though they've been stringing along wins, Trevor Lawrence has not been playing very good, to be completely honest with you. Their defense has been playing well. Liam Cohen, I think, is a very good head coach as well. Good hiring there. So, like to see Brian Thomas Jr. play a little better, to be honest with you. So, I think the Jags still have improvements to make, but they're definitely on the right track to be a very good team in the AFC. And tonight proves it. Like, if they go play a really good game against Kansas City, they'll be solidified. They'll solidify themselves as pretty legitimate through 5 weeks here in terms of the NFL. So big game for the Chiefs to put them back in the elite mix as well. I think even if they lose, they'll be fine. But a lot of people taking the Jags in this game, I noticed. I've seen a lot of picks, professional sports bettors as well. I've seen their picks as well. Some friends of mine, they're taking the Jags to win this game too. So I'd be very curious. I think I'm still going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, people are kind of downplaying of how much better they've kind of gone over the last few weeks. Pat Mahomes is really playing, even though statistically, Pat Mahomes, this is not one of the better seasons of his career. And even the last few years, you look like Pat Mahomes, you look at his stats and be like, well, he's not one of the best quarterbacks in football. You're watching this year. If it's not for him, this team's like 0-4 right now. They are really struggling without him. So Pat Mahomes is playing some really good football, even though, as I mentioned, statistically, it may not look like it. He is playing like an elite quarterback, which we know he is anyway. But yeah, man, Chiefs Jags, I think will be a good game. If I had to take a team to win that game, though, I think I'm still going to take Kansas City over Jacksonville tonight to win that game on Monday Night Football. So, yeah, man, that is it for today's video. Any other games I kind of didn't talk about today? Again, kind of on a time crunch here. I got class in like about 2.5 hours here, so got to get ready, edit, post this video, put it up for you guys as well. I kind of want to talk about it a little more. I'm going to talk about that on Thursday as well. I might throw a little bit of it in tomorrow's video. I'll definitely react to the Jags and Chiefs Monday night game tomorrow before I do my top 10 Tuesday tomorrow. If you guys haven't seen that before, go on, rank the top 10 quarterbacks, top 10 teams every single week on Tuesday, going into a new week of the NFL season. So be ready for that tomorrow, man. Some massive changings. Eagles lost, Bills lost, quarterbacks not playing, quarterbacks playing good, some massive drop-offs. So big time changings in the rankings tomorrow. So if you're curious to see that, stick around for Top 10 Tuesday tomorrow. So that's it for today's video. Again, thank you guys so much for the 200 subscriber, or hitting 200 subscribers. And again, I can't express the amount of thanks I have for you guys.